So I'm gonna get right into some specifics. I'm gonna talk about how we play hot coverage. Some guys call it eyes coverage. How we pair it with six-man pressures. I'm gonna go over one specific six-man pressure that we call wizard. We've kind of moved away from six man with blitz coverage or cover zero, and we've kind of replaced it with hot coverage. Um, Here's my contact info. If you need anything, again, I'm Marc Marinelli, defensive coordinator at Wichita Northwest. Email address is right up there, and I can put this stuff in the chat later too. Cell phone number is 316-393-1700. And then Twitter, you can always get a hold of me there if you need to. And like I said, I'll share any of this. It's kind of nice not speaking at my state's Coaches Association clinic, so I can get into some nuts and bolts of stuff of why we do things exactly. I want to kind of echo what other coaches have said. It's an honor to be here. I know our Coaches Association has modeled some things after what you guys have done. There's a list of great speakers. I know there's going to be phenomenal ones. There's, Jake is unbelievable as an O-line coach. I've seen his kids play too, and they do things the right way. So I'm not sure why I fit in here other than being the only defensive guy. So that tends to change things a little bit for me. So there's 5 of us on the varsity defensive staff at Wichita Northwest. We're a 5A school. There's 6 classifications in Kansas. We're 5A. We have 5 varsity defensive coaches. Coach Grayson is a great young coach. He coaches our outside backers. I got to say, Coach Thompson, our defensive line coach, is probably one of the best coaches I've ever been around. I've been at a lot of different places. And then we have Coach Ike and Coach Skip, who coach our corners and safeties. And this last year, I've moved into inside backers. Before that, I coached part of the DBs. So I feel like I'm able to talk the language of all 3 levels of players. Before I was hired in 2018, Northwest has always been known as a really, really good offensive team. There's a kid named Brees Hall who's doing some pretty good things in the Big 10 or the Big 12, who came from our school. His senior year, they averaged about 60 points a game, but they also gave up 30 points a game. 2019, I was hired and brought in a couple of guys with me that believed in our philosophy and also taught the things that I wanted to get taught. And we shaved that down by 18 points to 12. And then last year, we had a lot of kids back from that 2019 team, and we gave up 11 points a game. So definitely we've made an impact on the defensive side. We've kind of embraced the philosophy that nobody really cares about the defensive players at Wichita Northwest, even though that's not true. I definitely want them to believe that. What we believe in, though, there are 3 key things other than the win, okay, that we want to emphasize on our defense. One is takeaways. 2, and how we base what we do and how we do it, is the creation of tackles for loss. I know earlier a coach talked about sacks. When we talk about TFLs, we include sacks, anything that's a true negative play, not just a 0. And then getting off the field on third down, what's the percentage of third down conversions? In the last 2 years, we've done a good job with both those things. Why we pressure, the main thing is TFLs, and Coach mentioned this earlier. And one of the things that we all do is we really dive into the big picture of our film throughout the winter months. We're lucky the last 2 years to play for a state championship. So we're playing until Thanksgiving weekend. After that, we start diving into what the big picture looks like and what we need to cut, what do we need to get better on. So in 2019, we created 138 negative plays, and that was out of 13 games. 2020, our district said no to football, no to high contact sports. So we lost 2 games. We went to war with the kids leading the charge. We got our season back on. So we only played 11 in this last year. In those 11 games, we created 127 negative plays. So what that turns into, though, is the biggest stat I think, the most important stat right now and how offenses are. In 2019, when we created at least one TFL on a drive, offenses were only successful with like either 3 points or six on 11% of drives. So if we got a TFL, that ball was given back to the offense 89% of the time, which is just huge. So at the end of the year, this year, I wanted to see if our numbers backed us up. And in this year, we were actually 1 point better for that. So on 90% of drives, the ball was given back on any time we created a TFL. So really, our identity is built on creating tackles for loss, moving the front, moving linebackers, moving the secondary in order to create that based off offensive tendencies usually. So in 2020, one of the things that made our production go up on average was we added in 6-man hot pressures. So by forcing a negative play, this is kind of common sense. The things that can happen is that we dictate what happens on 3rd and long. If we get an offense off schedule, first of all, their tendencies on their tape come out a little bit more when they're backed up and off schedule. When we get on 3rd and 8, and we're lucky enough that we run a bunch of different sub packages. I can dime. We play nickel about 65% of the time already, but we can sub package into different defenses and especially different coverages. We can play 2 deep man under. We can play drop 8 successfully, all those things, and have a great chance of getting off the field. This last year, we only let the offense or our opponents convert 34 out of 146 3rd downs. So we were getting off the field, and we were creating takeaways too by making coverage calls based off the tendencies that guys had given us when they were backed or when they were off schedule. So nuts and bolts of hot coverage, and I'm going to give you guys some more rules to it. But hot coverage is for us 3 deep, 2 under rotational coverage. This first year we only put a rotational coverage with safeties. You could play it with cloud coverage, but for our first year, we wanted to keep it extremely simple with our rules for our safeties. So what it does, though, is it allows 6-man pressures with coverage that's adaptable versus the run, and allows overlaps with vision on the quarterback in the passing game. Okay, allows the coverage players to play with quarterback vision. We're a man match, zone match team, whether we're playing 1 high or 2 high. So most of the time, our vision is on who is coming into our zone and how we're playing him leaving the zone. Okay, so this plays into playing really good passing teams that are really coached up on what they do in the passing game. This plays with them because most guys, when they get 6-man pressure, they're telling the quarterback the ball's got to be out, the ball's got to be out, the ball's got to be out. Okay, so we are forcing that hand of the quarterback to get the ball out fast in order, and then we can break on the football. We might be a deep 3rd player, but we're going to break on a hot route. We're going to break on a quarterback's intentions because our vision is all dedicated to the quarterback. So that allows us to play 2 under coverage, but still be able to move. We're not sitting in one place. We're looking at quarterbacks and what his intentions are, because we're not going to allow him with 6-man pressure to pat the ball and throw posts all night long. We found that it's great on 1st down. It's great on 2nd and 7+, where it's a quick game down, where they're trying to get back on schedule. We found that you don't want to run it on 3rd down. If there's a chance to go 7-man max protection, this is not, or bad things will happen. Okay, so this is a great way to increase your tackle for losses, but it can't be your only way. We added this in. We still are a big 5-man pressure team, a sim pressure team, creepers, all those things we do already. But this has been a way to add the ability or a little or more opportunities to overwhelm the run game and still get pressure on the quarterback. So our rules on hot coverage, and our first 2, the one I'm going to talk about is Wizards. Spurs is a double A gap pressure, 6-man pressure with 1 off the edge. So this is straight from our players app and our presentation from install. We are trying to get the kids to understand that we're taking away the quick game. We're taking away the hot throw. while bringing 6 in pressure. Okay, so if we call hot right, the safety to the right, first of all, both safeties are going to key the tackle for run pass. Okay, if we get pass, our eyes go to the quarterback, and we're going to, if I'm the safety to the right, hot right tells me I'm the rotator back. Some guys call it back or call it vice versa. We determine who the deep player is so that we've always got that covered. Okay. Um, if I'm away from the coverage, if I'm hot right and I'm the left safety, then I'm rolling down to the seam and I'm going to play skiff. If we get run, we're going to fit this like man match quarters. So we're going to get a safety involved to the run game. Okay. Our eyes, though, in the passing game are always on the quarterback. We're going to work to what our responsibility is. I might be a post player. I might be the rotator to the post, but we call it a cheat post technique, where I'm going to pad my feet. And if I need to, if the pass isn't out yet, I will work to the post. So it's different than just regular, what we call cover 3 and cover 6, where we're rotating guys down. Right now, it's, again, playing off the strengths of the quarterback, playing off the strengths of the cover or the passing game in order to take away underneath routes. Okay. Corners, their rule is that they always show inside press. They're going to open to the quarterback. And then they are going to bail with quarterbacks or bail with eyes to the quarterback for the quick game. So I'll show you on film, they might be a deep third player, but they are going to bail and they're going to break on quick game. Okay, because we are planning on the 6-man rush, getting there to disrupt the pass to get the ball out fast. And we make it simple for the linebacker. The linebacker not in the rush is eyes to the quarterback, and we are dropping fast to that side. Okay, we will wall any in cut. We will get underneath seams. He has got to move extremely quickly, though. That's the one guy that's got to know, I've got to get into coverage right now. So our first one was our most successful. Okay, on Wizards, hot right and left, we averaged negative 1.3 yards per play. Every time we ran this, we generated a TFL. So schematically, Wizards was a double edge pressure, okay, with a twist game inside. We found that in 2019, we didn't move our nose enough. Now you'll see our nose moving, and he's not a great mover. He's one of the strongest kids in our state. He does a great job with two gap. He does a great job of playing lag technique and some push technique, but he's not effective really greatly if we loop him outside. But what we found was the more we moved him, the more we were able to manipulate the offensive scheme and how they account for him. By giving the threat of moving a nose, even if he's not a great mover, you still have now a guard that has to account for him also. Okay, the center can't just play base and base up the nose. So our goal in 2020 was to move our guy, to always present the fact that we are going to move him. So up front, the nose is going to move to the call side unless we call flip. And you'll see a couple of examples where we're moving them to the other side. Flip means that we're flipping the pressure of the front. Switch means we're switching the pressure in the back end. Okay, so we can tag those two things, or we can tag switch. We can tag any pressure with flip, with switch, and we can come into different looks without having to teach an all new pressure. Okay, so in hot right, Wizards hot right, the nose is going to work to the right. Okay, we tell him to work across the guard's face and then keep moving until he can find an open gap. The 4 technique is actually going to loop in front of him, and he's going to try to get the center's attention. He's going to work to his side of the center. The Sam linebacker is going to be on a pressure path through a gap. Okay, one of the things that we don't do very often is we don't creep a lot of pressures. We'll show pressures early, and we'll drop different guys on sim pressures, but we don't let our guys really walk up on pressure very often. Okay, both edge pressures, the will and the joker. The joker's more of our nickel, or it could be our nickel. They're both coming off the edge, but they will play peel on the back. Now, their path, though, is always dictated on where the safety is. In the sense, the safety versus the run game, the safety is going to work a quarters fit. He can play a spill technique if he gets a puller or if he gets blockers to him. And I've got a couple of clips of that coming up. Okay. Again, if we tag any responsibility with the word hot, our vision is going to be dictated, or our vision and our breaks going to be dictated with the quarterback. So this gives our kids a little bit different look, where we're trying to steal. What we tell them, we're gonna key the quarterback. We're looking for his intentions of his elbow, and if that ball comes out, now we're gonna try to steal second base off his throw. So we're gonna break fast. So while it might seem like on Wizards hot right, this Mike's got to cover a long way for a bubble. You'll see us on film where we bail and then we come back underneath. We keep leverage and we leverage the bubble. So what we're taking into account is, once again, that we're going to bring 6 in the pressure, and the ball's got to be out fast. And our eyes are going to be are going to show us where we're going to move and how we're going to cover guys. So I'm going to get right into the film. I think I got about 5 minutes left, so we should get through most of these clips. I did put a couple bad ones on here. Like I said, it's our first time running it. Okay. So we've got 2 backs. We've got a Mike. The Mike is creeping up here. I'd like to see him come from depth. Corners are starting to bail. This kid became a really, really good player. This kid's going to Northern Illinois. All right. So hot right says safety to the right is going to rotate to the middle of the field. Safety away from the call is going to rotate down. We're showing double edge pressure because we've got a 2-back look. Okay. This linebacker knows with 2 backs, he's got to play the threat with no threat coming back, and the quarterback is going to show sprint out on this play. He knows he's got to get over the top and force the sprint out. So we're going to react pretty quickly to this. Okay. Again, 2 edge pressure. Nose is going to be looping out. Even though that's a big kid, that's our backup nose, we still wanted to present the look that we will slant our guy. We'll loop him at any time. Edge pressure, we get a reach. So we stymie the block here. The linebacker got through on A gap, even though he creeped. All right, safety's coming down over 2. We'd like him to have outside leverage so he can see the vertical of 2 to the eyes of the quarterback. Okay, if that guy disappears while I'm dropping down, now I've got to go play him because he's working curl to the flat. If he goes in, we're going to wall him as hard as we can. We will stick with him unless the quarterback's eyes go away. If the quarterback's guys goes away, I start to play my zone. All right, corners are bailing, eyes on the quarterback. I don't like the man turn here. He should still just be zoning, working back. Eyes are on. Deep threat could be my guy, so I got to stay on it. Other linebacker does a good job of forcing sprint out, and we get a strip sack. Okay, another play here. We've got hot right called again, or we've got where we are going to bail, or we've got a different coverage tagged. It's the same idea, but we're not going to press to bail here. We want to give this offense a different look. Okay, so we're looping. We've called flip. So the nose is going to loop across, and we're going to bring the linebacker, the A-gap pressure from the other side. Okay, both going off the edge here. All right, all of our eyes in the secondary, our 2 droppers, our 2 underneath coverage, are all key in quarterback. This corner does a great job. We're doing this from an off alignment. He knows he's going to break with vision. There's the bubble, the quick throw. He's going to break and keep leverage on the ball. Post safety, if this was regular rotation, he'd be back by now. Since it's not, he can pat his feet. He sees pass. He can break and leverage this bubble. Okay, good pursuit pass down the field here. We spend a lot of time each week about talking about our aiming point on pursuit. Okay, kid makes a great play. Called flip up front, so the nose is going to work the other way. We've got a kind of a cross dog action now with him and the inside linebacker. Ball's out fast because of one guy's free. Okay, and we're taking advantage of that quick throw. Again, this is 1st and 10. Okay, 2nd and 21. This team was a big RPO team. Try to get back on schedule. Okay, they're going to run fly sweep. Safeties are keying their tackles again. Okay, if the tackle shows me low hat reach, I'm going to be in the fit right now. Okay, we're going to be able to spill the block with the overhang because of his path. It's fly sweep. Overhang's going to spill the ball. Safety's running his fit outside. Does a great job. The other thing, we like I said earlier, we talk a lot about working our pursuit paths. Guys aren't just running to the ball, they're running upfield where they need to be. Okay, against trips, we've done it a couple of different ways with our rotation. Okay, we've done it where we've switched it, and we've done it where we've actually played the other safety, the drop safety coming in over 3-2. We wanted to keep it extremely simple. This is not a great play. First of all, it's 4th and 11. I should never have been in this coverage. This team was a big screen team. And since we're a pressure team, we pressure on 78% of downs. And by pressure, I mean move the front some way, somehow, from 0 and double fours to some other look post snap. So shouldn't have ever made this call. Should have never been in this coverage on this down. All right. 6-man pressure. Center takes the loop. 4 techniques working inside. Okay. Edge pressure beats the tackle. This is our nickel. This is our will. Back steps up to help with the linebackers. Quarterback's now affected. We might not sack him, but he's going to throw this ball off his back foot. Okay. We're in the middle of the field because we've got trips, so we're playing over. All right. He is going to now, if he gets high hat from this tackle, he's going to pad his feet. He's going to work to the post. We get a post throw under pressure. We do a bad job of making the play. Okay. Should have been off that down. Should have never been called. That coverage should have never been called, or that pressure on 4th down. But we still got a chance here to make the play on a deep post, even though we're playing cheat technique. Okay, this is our first game of the season when they finally let us play. Okay, again, hot right. So here's my post defender, my rotator. Here's my drop defender. Double edge pressure with nose moving, A-gap player right now. Okay, they run the ball. They don't account for the over. We're a big double edge pressure team, whether it's 5 or 6 man. Okay, these guys know their paths can be tight, especially versus the run, where we can bend our pass to get the TFL. Okay, 6-man pressure allows us to overwhelm a lot of blocking schemes in the run game and a lot of different things where if they're always worried about whether the 4 and the 0 are going to go, this slows down their reaction for the double edge pressure. Windiest game of the year right here, but I'm going to show you this because it's trips away from the call. So right now we're hot right. We're going to stick in hot right. So this is going to be my post player. This is going to be my drop safety. He's going to drop in over 3 to work to 2. Okay. Some guys would check it. We decided to live with it, and we actually kind of like the angle of him reading quarterback and dropping in over 3 to 2. Okay. Only reason I show that, it's a bad snap on a really windy night, but I wanted to show you how we play trips without switching the coverage. Okay, Wizards again. All right, remember the thing is about affecting the pass game. You don't have to get a hit on the quarterback. You don't have to get a sack to affect the pass game. You just have to make him feel the pressure. All right, that way he can't sit his feet. He can't pat the ball. Ball's got to be out now. Ball's typically that's off the back foot, not nearly as accurate. Okay, corners are going to bail. Shouldn't have a man turn here. He should still be zone turn. Safety does a good job of seeing 2 vertical. Break it on the ball. Pass is incomplete on 3rd down. This is a really pass heavy team, like I said earlier. So once again, we're just trying to manipulate what they want to do against 6-man pressure, get the ball out fast. Now we're keying that quarterback in order to break on the football. Okay, whenever we can, we really want to, we try to manipulate pressure so we can get the back versus one of our linebackers. These guys don't spend enough time in pass pro, and these guys do a really good job. Our inside backers are not big kids. They're both about 165, about 180. Most of our guys are not big. Most of our guys are really good runners. Make the back protect you, get the ball out fast, incomplete. Now we're throwing up the 4s, and it's 4th down. So I think that's right at my time. Let me see. I ran a stopwatch. I timed myself earlier. 25 minutes, not bad. Okay. Again, here's my contact info. If you want cuts of this, if you want this presentation, anything like that, reach out to me. I have no problem sharing any of those things. Glad to get on this clinic and actually talk about some football, which by football, I mean defensive stuff. You know, I sat through offense, and I thought, all right, I can't fuck this up because I'm the only defensive coach talking. So appreciate the time, guys. Like if you need anything, super impressed with this clinic.